One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of one-handed players making is that they don't have a strong swing path. In this video, I want to show you really simply how you can start developing a strong swing path to make sure your one-handed backhand is equally as strong as your swing path. So let's get started. What I'm going to use is a wall to demonstrate this. You can probably do some of the shadows on a fence, but you're going to probably want a wall. It doesn't have to be a tennis wall, but anything to hit against after we start doing the shadow drills. So what I mean by this is a lot of one-handed players tend to open up and pull across their body too soon. They're not staying with the ball and really having that arm accelerate out and forward through the shot. But a great way to test this and make sure you get better at this is using a wall, and you'll see how. All I want you to do is pretend out where is contact. And so my contact, for me, I'm gonna scoop my feet up, is gonna be right here. And so all I'm gonna do is take a small step away from the wall. And so right here, I'm probably about maybe a half a foot to a foot away from the wall. And so now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and prepare with my one-handed backhand, and I want to swing up the wall. Now notice what you didn't hear. You didn't hear this, because I didn't hit it. And so what this means is I'm staying with the wall, okay? I'm staying with the ball, I should say. Meaning that I'm really focusing on, even if I swing fast, okay? And this is just purely with my arm. I'm focusing on having the right arm motion through the ball. And why this is important is because a lot of players do a couple things with this. A, they start swinging across, and if I swing across, I'm gonna hit the wall. B, what also happens is when they're holding the racket, their wrist starts going forward. So they're actually doing this into the wall, and it's a weak muscle. We want to make sure by holding the racket and using the right positioning of our fingers that we're holding and securing the racket head so it's not going forward here and that our arm is coming up. Once we have this a couple times and you feel really good about this, then you can start using your legs a little bit. So I'm going to back up just a little bit more. And what I mean by using my legs is if I'm in this position here and I just turn my knee just a little bit, so I'm going to drop my racket and watch. If I just turn my knee, look what happens. The racket's moving. And so this is what's going to ignite our whole stroke. I'm going to have my shoulders turn back a little bit more and then be able to ignite and boom. So you can see how I'm even using my legs here. Oh, I got it. Put a little bit too much into it. Okay, boom, boom, boom. And so you can see how I'm making sure that as I start developing and using more of my body, that I'm not losing control of my racket and my racket head's moving forward. If I did this a lot where my racket is moving forward too much, then what's gonna happen is gonna be inconsistent at contact. Now, do you see players where after they've made contact, the racket and the arm release a little bit? Yes, but you don't see the wrists going forward through contact. What you're seeing for most pros is they feel themselves hitting through contact and they're staying with the ball, and then they start to relax, and so the momentum of the racket head will take it forward. That's totally fine, and you can do that as long as you get the contact right. What I see a lot of recreational players doing is snapping through, and so you go from using strong muscles, meaning your hips, your shoulders, big muscles to drive through the contact, from then to using small muscles in your wrist to try to drive through contact, and that breeds inconsistency. And then from here, what you can do is just practice where you drop feed and you go boom. And notice here, I'm not really using my legs a lot here, because if I use my legs a whole bunch, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna hit the ball a lot harder. Okay? And I'm just practicing that same action that I was doing against the wall. And this really helps you cement the feeling of staying with the ball longer compared to if I were to do that. And you can already see, like, my wrist going forward made the ball go more cross court, not because I meant to do it, because it's inconsistent with my wrist. If I wanted to make the ball go cross court on purpose, I would just start my swing earlier so it arrives at the contact earlier, and now it would be going cross court. So if I did that same thing here, it'd be where if I am going cross court, yes, my racket tip would be close, and I could still make sure if I'm going cross court here, I can do my drill. For what we did is going down the line, and this would be going cross court. But notice how my wrist still isn't flying forward to go cross court. It's solid and still going up. And this is the key to making sure that when you go out to hit a backhand, it's gonna be more solid, because we're not using the weak muscles. We've trained our swing to use the big, strong muscles. And then if we wanna go in a different direction, we start to swing earlier so it gets the contact earlier, but we still have the strong setup through contact. And that's how you can develop a strong one-handed backhand just using a board, or even you could do it against a fence or in your room. Now, if you did want to take your backhand to the next level, you need to understand how to use your legs. And so watch this video and I'll show you exactly how to start using your lower half, that once you have your swing down, you can simply plug in more power to the swing to get more out of it.